Rainbow Dash looked around in shock. Cloudsdale too? She muttered. The city and the clouds had suffered the same fate as Ponyville. Even the clouds the city sat on seemed to have a lack of color. She looked over at Gilda and asked, "Did you know Cloudsdale looked like this?" Griffith shrugged. "Yeah, after I woke up, I ended up flying out of your house and found a whole weird hole in your bedroom what's inside. I also found that free necklace of yours on the table next to your bed. That's when I came up with the idea for the race." Rainbow raised an eyebrow. "Huh?" Gilda pointed to some Pegasite that were frozen in midair and spoke. "Don't you get it, Dash? Look at them. The way that they're somehow stuck in place, they'll make perfect casters to fly around." Rainbow asked, "So this race of yours it flying all over around the Pegasite there stuck in the air and back here?" Gilda replied, "No. It involves flying all over Cloudsdale, including the weather factory, while flying around all the Pegasi. They'll be right back here. We're going to do 5 laps around." Rainbow looked at her and asked, "5 laps? What's wrong with 1 lap?" Gilda rolled her eyes. "Duh, it's more fun this way." School again. "Oh, it'll be fun to watch people dash cut your furry butt, all right." Gilda glared at her. "Shut up, sort of stuff, or you'll be getting a crash course in flying." Rainbow pressed her home against the Griffith's chest and said, "You even think of harming her?" Gilda interrupted her. "Jeez, take it easy, Dash. I'm not going to touch her." When the silent Pegasus looked away, she added under her breath, "Unless I need to." Rainbow simply looked forward and said, "Let's just get this over with." Gilda snorted. "Fine, whatever you say, Rainbow Crash." Rainbow lowered themselves to the ground, both glaring at each other for a moment before turning their faces forward again. Skulu bounced up as he exclaimed, "Go!" Although the inspector started him off, both Rainbow Dash and Gilda shot into the air at the sound of her voice. As he watched them fly away, Skulu cheered, "Be here, Rainbow Dash! Be here good!" Gilda rolled her eyes at the tear, while Rainbow smiled and gained a burst of speed, pulling ahead of Gilda. As he approached the Pegasite that were frozen in midair, she began to swerve around the ponies, slipping through traps and veering around her fellow flyers. Her lead over Gilda began to get bigger, the Griffith's larger form forcing her to slow down as she made her way around the Pegasus ponies. "Ha! She'll never catch me at this rate!" Rainbow laughed, glancing back as she swerved around another pony, trying to fly for the weather factory. She turned her head back around, only to see the side of a pony in her flight path. She screamed and pulled her wings back, was able to stop herself before crashing into the pony. The pony stayed where it was in the air, but Rainbow slid down the side. She managed to crack back up in the air for a moment, only to see Gilda fly overhead. The Griffin called back, "What's the matter, Rainbow Crash? You tired from not having your third nap of the day, or are you just getting slow?" Rainbow glared at her. "It is on." She saw after the Griffin, looking to make up for lost time. She began to catch up as they approached the weather factory. But Gilda remained in the lead as they flew through the weather factory, weaving under and around parts of various rooms. They flew out the back and began to weave around the more frozen Pegasi. Dash called, "How'd you get there so easily?" Gilda called back, "Easy. I've had a lead on you this whole time. I know the course." Rainbow exclaimed, "But you cheater!" Gilda called, "What are you talking about? Someone had to map out this course or there wouldn't be one. Not my fault you weren't around when I plotted it." Zia flew ahead while Dash weaved around another Pegasus to pursue her. Skulu went on excitedly as Gilda and Rainbow Dash approached her. But her smile dropped when she realized Gilda was in the lead. Griffith thumped on a cloudy ground near her and said, "First lap!" before taking off again. Skulu turned back to face Rainbow Dash as he came in, panting as she touched the ground. The orange Pegasus filly ran over to her and said, "Come on, Rainbow Dash! Don't give up! Get back in there and show her how awesome you are!" Rainbow perked up at the nine before taking off. The race was far from over. Heels glanced around as he followed the road in front of him. The area he was in seemed very familiar to him. "Is this Stardust Speedway? Kinda looks like it, but why is it so corrupted looking?" he muttered to himself. Down below the road was a dim, dark red skyline, and up above was a large electrical storm, the clouds sticking red. Heels looked at a streetlight as he flew past it, murmuring, "So I said this is what it would look like if Robotnik continued to mess around in the past on Little Planet. I thought he raced his future, especially after we stopped Eggman's second planet for Little Planet. How would it still exist? That's where he arrived when he heard Spike yell, "Tails! Behind you!" The fox looked back over his shoulder and saw Metal Sonic shooting towards him. Spike still clutching his hands. Wasting no time, Tails quickly leapt up. Metal Sonic shouting underneath harmlessly. Landing back on the road, spinning his namesakes to propel himself forward, Tails nodded. "There's no time to worry about that now. Gotta see Spike!" His Tails motored furiously behind him, closing the gap between him and Metal Sonic. Before he could reach him, the robot flew off to the side of the road. Suddenly, he charged into one of the streetlights, snapping it off, throwing at Tails. Tails' eyes widened at this. He slowed down, leaping over the light when he hit the ground and broke apart. Metal Sonic broke off at another light, threw it at Tails. The fox speeding up to avoid getting hit by it. When Metal Sonic flew back over the road, Tails saw his chance and leapt towards Metal Sonic, ready to attack. Before he could reach him, however, Metal Sonic suddenly held Spike up in front of him. Tails captured and feigned himself for throwing a punch or whipping his tails around. Metal Sonic took advantage of his distracted state and brought his knee up to the fox's face, knocking it backwards. Before he could get too far, Metal Sonic flew around Tails and kicked him on the back of the head, knocking him down the road face first. While Tails was lying on the road, Metal Sonic began to charge up some kind of electrical field around him. Spike glared up at the robot. Not only had he taken advantage of the fox's kind nature to keep it from attacking, but he was now hurt too because of it. Before Metal Sonic could finish charging the attack, Spike yelled out about him, "Hey, you!" Clever dialogue, Spike. Bravo! When the robot looked down at him, Spike released the tornadoes of flames from his mouth at the face. Green flames really didn't faze Metal Sonic, but the acid from the flames spread out over his eyes, temporarily blinding him. Metal Sonic was so surprised by his heat-seeking eyes being blocked that not only did he unleash an attack too early, but he unleashed it on himself. Electricity sparked out of his midsection, paralyzing him, causing him to land feet first on the road. Metal Sonic attempted to recover from his own attack. Spike looked over at Tails, who was just beginning to recover, and called, "Get him down, Tails!" Fox looked up, and upon seeing the state Metal Sonic was in, leapt to his feet and ran towards him. With one swift motion, he sent the robot flying with a tail whip, caught Spike on his tails. The robot crossing into one of the hills on the road. Spike breathed a sigh of relief as he held onto the fluffy tail and said, "Thanks, Tails." Tails brought the tail Spike was on around to his front and lifted him off of it, saying, "Don't miss this, Spike, especially since it's my fault he grabbed you. I'm sorry." Spike replied, "What? You got nothing to be sorry for." "Sure, maybe you got a little distracted, you took offense at that, but you still saved me. I'm sorry for squeezing me a little hard, you didn't hurt me. So you got nothing to apologize for." Tails asked, "Are you sure?" Spike nodded, "Of course I am." Both of them looked over at Metal Sonic, the robot giving a robotic noise as it wiped the acid covering his eyes off. It stood up and activated its engine, lifting out the ground. Spike looked back at Tails and asked, "Now you ready to take out this jerk for real?" Tails gave a determined nod, set Spike on his back, his tail spinning around as he shot after Metal Sonic. The robot turning and flying towards the fox came after him. As both Tails and Metal Sonic entered a tunnel, the robotic doppelganger suddenly fell behind the fox. Spike watching him while his Tails concentrated on the road. Suddenly, Metal Sonic lurched towards the two while spinning like a drill. "Tails, he's doing that spinning sack again!" Spike called. Tails looked over his shoulder to see Metal Sonic quickly getting closer, and used his namesake to propel himself upwards. Metal Sonic nearly missed him, and after Tails came back down, floated into the air while sparking and letting out smoke. While he was stunned, Tails performed a spin jump, hitting Metal Sonic from behind and sending him down to the road, where he rolled and flopped around a bit before flying up again. Tails soon exited the tunnel, but Metal Sonic was still behind him. A bit far behind him, actually. Tails could hear the robot's engine, but it sounded distant. Suddenly, the noise level increased, and Metal Sonic charged towards the duo, with an even stronger version of his charging attack. Spike's eyes widened to sight the electric spear surrounding the robot and yelled, "Tails, he's coming in quick! I don't think you'll be able to jump over this one!" Tails glanced up and noticed a raised flash sensor road just above the main road coming up. "Maybe I can get up there," he thought. Once he was close enough, he leapt up. As soon as his feet touched solid ground, he shot forward. Metal Sonic hot on his heels. The robot's charging attack was breaking up raised sections of the roads to continue on. But Metal Sonic seemed to be unable to catch up to Tails. The raised section soon ran out, but Tails' tails kept spinning as he returned to the road below. The spear surrounding Metal Sonic dissipated soon afterwards, allowing Tails to easily jump over him. Metal Sonic once again floated in mid-air before coming out of his attack, allowing Tails to spin jump him again, knocking him into a hill, while he bounced off, while flipping over in mid-air. Tails came to a stop underneath, crouched down on one knee, saying, "Hang on, Spike, I'm putting an end to this." He looked up towards Melisai, and as he saw the robot's red eyes, swung his tails around, sending him flying. Melisai flipped over several more times before he exploded, tails dropping back down to the ground afterwards. Spike looked off his back as he landed two bumped fists, Spike saying, "Yeah, that was great! Way to go, Tails!" He looked up where Melisai exploded, and there was a violet light shining against the red clouds. "Hey, what's that?" he asked, pointing up. Tails looked up and noticed what he was talking about. He started, "I think that's..." The object suddenly fell past them, heading towards the skyline below. Moving quickly, Tails spun his namesakes around, dove off the road. "I really wish that you would stop using the word namesakes! You've used this at least 5 different times in this story! In this chapter alone! Go ahead! Say Tails spun his tails! We're fine!" He got before he could land on top of one of the buildings. He flew back up to Spike with the object in hand. Spike's eyes widened and began to drool at the sight of the violet gem in Tails' hands. So fixated on the gem, he almost didn't hear Tails when the fox landed and said, "This is one of the Chaos Emeralds. But why did Melisai have it? For that matter, why is this bad future still around?" Spike snapped out of his gem fascination at Tails' words, shaking his head looking up at the fox, asking, "Oh, what'd you say?" Tails didn't hear him, due to being lost in his thoughts again, and instead turned to look at the skyline. Watching lightning flash in the distance, he muttered, "Unless Aikman came back to Little Planet some other time we didn't know about, there's no reason why Stardust Three-Way should look like this. It's not possible unless..." He snapped his fingers and said, "It's crazy, but that just might be it." So I spoke, "Tails, a bit for your thoughts? What are you bubbling about? And why is that gem in your head glowing?" Tails started to look out at the baby dragon for a moment, then looked at his left hand, which held the Chaos Emerald. He held it up and asked, "Yes? Well, remember when I mentioned an emerald called the Master Emerald?" Spike nodded, so Tails continued, "This is one of the gems that are responsible for the Master Emerald's existence. Mystical gem full of unlimited power. A Chaos Emerald." Spike looked down quizzically. "Chaos Emerald? Unlimited power? I don't follow you." "Spike, emerald, power, magic, comes from another world full of watery aliens. I don't know how simple I can make this." Tails reached into his right tail and said, "That's okay, Spike. I'll try to answer your questions as best as I can when we get back to Ponyville." He pulled out the warp ring and held it up to the Chaos Emerald. When the two objects came into contact with each other, the ring emitted a bright white light for several seconds before it faded back to its normal color. Tails pulled the ring back and said, "Here, that's to recharge it completely." It checked the Chaos Emerald on his left tail. Spike said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait, what do you mean you're going to answer my questions when we get back to Ponyville?" Tails explained, "Well, there's no doubt in my mind that Rainbow Dash, Twilight, and Applejack are going to have the same questions that you have when we tell them about this, so might as well have the same time we answer everyone's, or rather every pony's questions at the same time." Spike murmured, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." Spike, have I ever told you that for as much as the fan base tries to talk about how mature you are for your age, that you can be a bit of a dumbass? This point is out here. Besides, I think I figured out what's going on. Spike looked up at him and asked, "Really?" "Yeah, gotta tell the others right away." He tossed the orb ring in front of him, the ring expanding while whoa. Spike looked back on Tails' back, and the fox jumped through the warring portal, the ring vanishing soon afterwards. And since Tails got a Chaos Emerald, Raymond asked Grant to herself as he flew out the back door of the weather factory. Once again, flying around the frozen pig's eyes, he made her way to the starting point of the race. She had been lagging behind Gilda for the second lap and part of the third, still trying to drill out the layout of the course in her head. Fortunately, Gilda had gotten overconfident about halfway through the third lap and crashed into a wall, giving Rainbow Jazz a chance to catch up to her. She had passed near the end of the lap and, despite Gilda coming close a few times, managed to keep her head during the fourth lap. "Just one more lap and I'll put Gilda in her place," she cheered to herself. The Griffin in question growled as he flew out through the weather factory. After Rainbow Dash, her sights once again working against her as she flew after Rainbow Pegasus. She gritted her teeth and muttered, She's tiring out, but she still managed to keep it ahead. It's time for Plan B. Skulu cheered as Rainbow Dash approached. Yeah, go Rainbow Dash, you got it now! The silent mare grinned as he touched down and leapt up, starting the final lap. Gilda soon came in for a landing, but she didn't take off right away. She smirked. Skulu was too preoccupied with trying to watch Rainbow Dash to pay attention to her. Hey, short stuff, she called. When Skulu turned to look at her, an annoyed expression on her face. Gilda wrapped a talon around her head, picking her up. Gilda walked over to the edge of the cloud and said, Let's see how loud you can scream. Happy landings! She then released Skulu, the orange Pegasus dropping like a rock. Skulu screamed as she flailed her hose in the air. Gilda resumed her race, her hose meaning nothing but air. At her moment, she extended her wings and started flapping them, grating her teeth as she tried to trap air beneath them. Alas, they were too small and could not hold her up. No matter how hard she flapped them, after a few seconds she gave up and let out an ear-piercing scream. Most Rainbow Dash would hear her. Thankfully, the silent Pegasus did hear her. The scream cut through the still air of Cloudsdale and reached Rainbow Dash's ears as she turned to fly towards the weather factory. She turned her head to the side and saw through a gap in the clouds, Skulu flailing as she fell. Skulu! She screamed as she turned and flew right towards the gap in the clouds, extending her hose in front of her. Gilda smirked herself as Rainbow Dash flew off course. Like a moth to the flame. I'm sure she'll save the kid, but not enough time to win this race. She then continued on, though at a slightly slower speed than normal. Below, Rainbow Dash clutched her teeth as she shot down towards Skulu, when tearing at her face and making her eyes tear up. She was getting closer, but had no idea how much time she had left before Skulu hit the ground. With everything completely white, there's no telling if there was any ground. And wanting to find out, she increased her flying speed. Her hose getting closer and closer to the flailing filly. Skulu watched her idol get closer and closer. She noticed a nearly visible aura was beginning to appear around her front hose, flight speed seeming to increase as it got bigger. All of a sudden, Rainbow Dash shot forward like a rocket. Rainbow rings spreading out from that point, and Rainbow tail behind her. A Sonic Rainbow! Skulu exclaimed as he was grabbed up in Rainbow Dash's hose. Immediately after Skulu was secured in her grip, Rainbow Dash pulled a 180 and headed back towards Cloudsdale, going faster than the speed of sound. She flew up towards the gap of the clouds, headed for the weather factory, easily weaving through the various rooms and soon exiting out of the baggage factory. As she exited, she saw Gilda narrow her eyes. Griffin evidently heard the start of a rainbow and was now trying to get to goal as fast as she could. It's a futile effort at best. Before she could get close to the finish line, Rainbow Dash rocketed past her, causing her to spin around like a top. As she spun around, Ash's element loyalty necklace was thrown out of her feathers, flying in the direction of the finish line. Rainbow Dash pulled another 180, caught the necklace in her mouth, shooting past Gilda again. Griffin stopped spinning for a moment, fell to the ground below, dizzy. Or right off, Rainbow Dash flew up in the arcs over Cloudsdale, leaving a large rainbow above the sea before flying down, landing on the finish line. Skulu looked up and down in the cloud and turned to Rainbow Dash, crying, That was so awesome, Rainbow Dash! You totally won that race! Dropping her necklace to her hoof, Rainbow replied, Of course I did. I also saved you. Skulu rubbed her head with her hoof and said, Hell yeah! Gilda dropped me off the edge and, well, thanks for saving me. Rainbow replied, No problem, Squirt. She slipped out her necklace and took a look at Gilda, who was still lying on the ground. She then turned like back at Skulu and said, now you're gonna waste my breath on her. Bad enough she hasn't changed a bit since the last time we saw each other. But I can't believe she would resort to such a cowardly tactic like that. Come on, Squirt. Let's get back to our real friends back at Ponyville. She then bent down, allowing Skulu to climb up on her back. Once the little filly was secure, she flew through the portal back to Ponyville. After she passed through, a simmering wave began to climb up the clouds that held Cloudsdale, restoring the color and ponies. Rainbow Dash's hose met the blanket atop her bed and leapt off it. Landing on the floor, she and Skulu stared back at the portal for a moment, returning around walking out of Rainbow Dash's bedroom. As they walked, they heard a simmering sound. When they reached the ground floor of her house, they saw the color was coming back to Rainbow Dash's house. Whoa! Did I restore my house and possibly Cloudsdale by racing Gilda? She asked. Skulu grinned. Of course you did, Rainbow Dash. That's all you need to be able to. Rainbow smiled back at her. Thanks, kid. She stepped out of her house and looked down right at the rainbow arches outside her house, sparrow wings lifting off the ground. As she looked down at the tree apple acre, she noticed a white spot beyond the apple trees beginning to get its colors back. Hey, Isn't that your group's clubhouse over there? Rainbow asked, pointing. School just said, it is. Did you do that too? Rainbow shook her head. No, it couldn't have been me. Sonic must have done that. Come on, let's get back to Ponyville and find out what happened. She then flew off, right through the town square. As they got closer, they both saw the warp ring appear out of thin air, Tails stepping out of it with Spike on his back. Tails turned to the ring and caught it in his right hand as it shrunk down to its dormant size. He put it right back on his right tail and leapt down, letting Spike off his back. Her dad landed in front of him as she stood up, Scootaloo jumping off her back, and looked at her and said, Oh, Rainbow Dash, Scootaloo, you're back. I see you won the race, Rainbow. The sign Pegasus puffed out her chest with pride. Well, of course. That's to be expected from the winner of the best young flyer competition after all. Tails asked, Yeah? Did you want those Sonic rainbows you told me about? Scootaloo spoke up, Did she ever? She did one right in front of me. Gilda tried to cheat by dropping me off a Cloudsdale. Rainbow Dash not only got a rescue, but totally kicked Gilda's flank. Rainbow nodded. It's all true, even with Gilda trying to cheat her way to victory. I still won. She then dropped the confident act and asked, By the way, where did you guys just come from? Where's Twilight, Sonic, and Applejack? Spike spoke. Well, I think Sonic got worried when Twilight mentioned Gilda might try to cheat in the race. So he asked Tails to follow you guys to keep an eye on things. I wanted to come with and Tails agreed, so we followed you to your house, but then we saw this robot called Metal Sonic. Rainbow raised an eyebrow. Metal Sonic? Tails explained. He's a robot that looks like Sonic, was built to counter all his best abilities. Based on what he said when he saw us, I think he was planning to go after you two and Gilda. Didn't think he'd be able to race Gilda and avoid a Sonic robot at the same time, so we intercepted him and ended up going through a portal in the treehouse. Scootaloo said, That was our clubhouse. So you guys were the ones who restored it? Tails tried. I guess so. Anyway, we managed to defeat Metal Sonic and... He didn't remember what he found and figure what he said. That's right. I gotta find the others. You need to hear this too. Rainbow asked. Hear what? Tails replied. You can figure out what's going on around here. Also, he's interrupted when he heard the mayor call, There you all are! Thank goodness. He then turned to see the mayor running out of town to them. Tails asked, What's wrong, Mayor? The mayor explained, After the four of you left, Twilight and Applejack agreed to show Sonic around Ponyville while they were waiting for you. Since I needed to fest I decided to join them. Just a few minutes ago, we came back here and invited to come inside. While I was talking to Twilight and Applejack, Sonic decided to take a look around the pavilion area and... Rainbow asked, and? Mayor said, he came back saying something about Strange Portal. So Twilight and Applejack went with him to investigate. They haven't come back yet. I'm worried they may be in danger.